I'm here today to work with you on our Swing Builders class. We're going to work on 3 separate drills. We're going to work on the chip drill, the chip punch, and the full swing. Alright, part 1, we're going to work on 3 things. We're going to work on the grip first, and then we're going to work on the positions at impact, and then we're going to have a drill that we'll work on called the chip drill that really kind of helps you feel those things. And the chip drill is going to look like this. So let's get started with the grip. All good swings start with a fundamentally sound grip, and so we're going to take a little bit of time here now to explain to you how I want you to hold the golf club. We're going to start with the left hand, and usually I'll hold the club out in front of me with my right, with the leading edge going straight up and down so that we know that the club face is square. And you're going to place your left hand. That's really the key. A lot of people kind of grab and try to twist to the right position. You want to place your left hand so that the V created by your thumb and your left index finger is going to point basically inside your right shoulder if you're a right-handed golfer. If you're a left-handed golfer, again, you can reverse that. It's going to point to your left shoulder. And as you look down, you're going to see about 3 knuckles on your left hand. Now, another thing that's very important with the grip is that you want to make sure that the pad, there's 2 pads on your hand, you want to make sure that both pads are on top of the club head. Most amateurs get the club in the palm of their hand like this at the club twist, and really if you see that your glove is wearing, it's from that poor grip. So you want to make sure that both pads are on top. And also a good way of kind of describing this thumb position is if you have the club face square and you imagine the grip being a clock, you're going to want your left thumb, or again for a right-handed golfer, to run down the shaft at about 1/3. So it's going to be not running down the very top, it's going to be running down the right center for a right-handed golfer. Now your right hand is more of a finger grip, and you're going to basically just take your palm toward the target and then close your fingers around it, and you're going to find that you have a nice pad on your right thumb that will cover your left thumb just like that. Again, an important thing is position. I want to feel like my palm is toward the target as I cover that thumb, and I'm going to just really, again, just squeeze my fingers around. Now the options you have are what you want to do with your pinky and your left index finger. For most women, particularly if you have smaller hands, I would just recommend a 10-finger grip, which looks like this. All 10 fingers are on the club. There's really nothing fancy about it. You go there, and it really gives you a little bit more support if you don't have very large hands. For most average men, and for women with larger hands, you're going to do the interlock. You take the left index finger and the right pinky, and you interlock them just as such. But again, make sure you keep that right palm toward the target as you're making that. Try not to really get out and try to work it under. Keep the right palm toward the target. And again, men with larger hands are going to do the overlap, which works like this. We just take that right pinky and just overlap the index finger as such. The main thing is, the V's. And one drill you can do for yourself, you can do it at home, is just really want your thumb to be connected to your index finger. And what you can do is you can place the grip like this with this T between your index finger and your thumb. And again, I want that to point just inside my right shoulder, and I can do the same thing with my right one. So these V's are going to match. They're both going to go just out to inside my right shoulder. So that's very, very important. This positioning is what's going to allow you to use your body to hit the ball. If you have a weak grip, you're going to be forced to use your hands at impact, which is what we're trying to avoid. With a stronger grip, it's a slightly closed face grip. Now you can use your body to hit the ball and get the results that we're trying to achieve. There's 3 things that really distinguish a good player versus the average player or below average player. And those 3 things are: at impact, a good player, his weight is on his forward leg. So if you're a right-hander, it's going to be on your left leg. If you're a left-hander, it's going to be on your right leg. So his weight is on his forward leg, whereas most high handicap amateurs, their weight is on their back leg. So it's back on their right leg for a right-handed golfer. And then also their hands, for a good player, are out in front of the ball like this at impact. Their hands are leading the club head or club face. And a higher handicap, the hands are back behind the ball at impact. And then the third and final thing at impact is that good players, their bodies are open at impact, or they look this way, and the higher handicap is square with the ball at impact, so just basically looking at the ball. So we're going to try to really work on getting you left weight forward, hands forward, and body open impact. And the best way to really work on that is through the chip drill. And with the chip drill, we're going to start off with a sand wedge, a really lofty club. If you don't have a sand wedge, a pitching wedge will do just fine. And to start with, we're going to put the ball position back in your stance. So again, for a right-handed golfer, it's going to be back pretty close to your right leg, not quite on your right foot, but back there pretty far. So you're going to start with the ball back. Your weight is going to be on your forward leg, and your left arm is going to hang, and your right hand is going to reach. So at this position, you already have the weight forward, and your hands are forward. So all we really have to work on is the opening of the body part. So during this stroke, what we're going to do is we're going to take the club back very square. And by square, I mean I want that face looking at the ball. So as it goes back, I want the face here looking at the ball rather than rolling it open and having it look at the sky. So the club goes back very square. And then from this position, we're just going to rotate around and we're going to face our target. So it's just a very, very short shot. It's going to go about from hip to hip. Very short shot from hip to hip. So it looks like this. Ball back, weight forward, and we're going to get it to about right hip and left hip. So again, notice how much rotation there was in the body. And that's really what we're trying to feel in the shot, is how much the body's going to rotate through. So again, at impact, I'm going to have my weight on my forward leg. I'm going to have the club back very square, and I'm going to rotate through the other side. In conclusion, we've learned today the proper position for a grip, which included both V's headed towards your right, inside your right shoulder. We talked about the impact position of good players versus poor players, specifically wanting your weight on your forward leg, your hands forward, and your body open. And we also worked on the fundamentals of trying to learn this by doing the chip drill. Again, with the chip drill, we had the ball position back, weight forward, hands forward, and the club went back square, and we rotated through. My name is Philip Marberger. Thank you for joining us for the first session of the Swing Builders. I hope you join us for the second part, which will be the chip punch.